and welcome to the Sideline. Today we have the pleasure of being joined by a man who makes Mother Teresa look lazy. Please help welcome me all the way from the Newcastle United Foundation, Mr. Reggie Dornan. Welcome, Reggie.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks for the invitation to come along today and speak on behalf of the foundation.
I didn't understand a word he just said to you.
Apologies in advance. I'm from Belfast, as you probably guessed, so I'm sure there's an interpreter out there somewhere.
You're spoiling off the script, yeah, Reggie. How are you?
And of course, not just Reggie that we're joined by, we're also joined by the regular host who calls himself Stephen Beattie, the super coach. How are you, mate?
I wrote that line. We are joined today by our super coach, Steve Beattie. And he didn't even read out properly. I'm good, Luke. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. I've had a traumatic time in Belgium, as we've discussed.
I would like to know more about how was your holiday? How was your holiday in Belgium?
Yes, mate, it was exciting. I enjoyed it. I got to immerse myself in the Belgian culture. Did you know that mainly in Belgium they speak Dutch?
Well, and I didn't reveal this before in our little pre-meeting show as if we were that organised. But Reggie, I'll show you this now. We've got a game to play later on after 5 o'clock.
Right.
And I'm going to be giving Luke a quiz
Good luck with that,
on Belgium. But also, we're also going to be playing a game. Is Luke smarter than a 10-year-old?
Right, I'm excited for this. I already know.
I wouldn't be if I was you.
Well,
There's some difficult questions in there.
You stitched us up.
Yes.
Right, excellent.
Is the honest answer.
So not only do we have the cracking guest in the studio, Reggie, but as always, we want you to get in touch, and we do want your song requests. So from 5 p.m, we'll be doing the 15-minute takeover. So please get in touch with your song choices via our streams.
That's right, mate.
Steve?
Yes, mate, that's right. You can drop us a text on 07858 429 316. Or, of course, you can message us usually on our Facebook page. Make sure you add your name on the message and we'll give you a shout out at around 5 p.m.
Excellent. So,
Lovely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I was wondering why Luke's there blank it is, and it's because he's saying to me it's my turn to talk next.
So, I thought you were going to take the lead, mate. My apologies.
That's fine. We're a bit rusty.
Trying to impress Reggie here.
I know it's not going off to a good start, but that's fine. We're going to play a cracking song later on, which will get Reggie back on our side. So, obviously, Reggie, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No
Now, would you mind telling everybody at home, our lovely listeners, what is it that you do for the Newcastle United Foundation?
My job at the foundation is to manage the Disability Football Project, which has grown considerably over the last 6 years. I was lucky enough to get the job back in September 2011, so I'm entering the 7th year, and every year it just gets bigger and better. But not just bigger for the sake of it, but the quality that we're delivering to both kids and adults with disability in our region, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It should be massive proud. Also, just to let you know as well, whilst you're listening to this, we have got the Newcastle game on in the background. So if there are any dramatic moments, we are going to do our best Chris Kamara impression.
Anyone screaming out loudly, we do apologise.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So not only is this is all about Reggie today, but obviously we've timed it. We've timed it well so that it's Newcastle United themed show today, isn't it?
We need them to do well.
We do need them to do well.
And actually, as Reggie said a little bit earlier, we did hear he has a little bit of an off accent. It's not your local accent. It's not a Swansea accent, is it?
No,
It's
definitely not Welsh. No, I'm from Belfast originally, Luke.
Right. How did you manage to get into football?
Well, I've played the game a long number of years, and then once I finished playing, I got involved in coaching. However, if someone had told me I'd be coaching and working with kids and adults with disability 10 years ago, I would have said you're mad. But you just never know where coaching takes you.
No, it's true.
And the opportunity it's given me has been incredible.
So your playing career?
Played semi-pro for a little club called Bangor FC, which is just outside Belfast.
There is one in Wales as well, isn't there?
There's Bangor City, not to be confused.
Yes.
I'm definitely not Welsh.
Well, Luke thought you were from Swansea, so...
Yeah, no.
Have we got an imposter on the show?
Definitely not. We had a bit of success. Played in the UEFA Cup twice and the old European Cup Winners' Cup in Cyprus. So great memories.
What was the best stadium that you
Best stadium was Upwell, Nicosia, in front of 30,000 mad Cypriots.
Yeah, great.
Mad Cypriots.
So I say that when you've had a few.
Yeah, yeah.
Where was it again?
In Nicosia, in Cyprus,
Nicosia.
back in the early 90s.
Because obviously my pronunciation's terrible, so I'm surprised that wasn't in the quiz a few weeks ago.
Nicosia is the capital, isn't it?
It's the capital, yeah. But
well, I'm glad you know capitals because there's some Belgian ones coming up later on. That's all I'm going to say to you, sunshine. So, what position do you play? I forgot to ask about it.
I played at the back.
You played at the back?
On the left-hand side. Left back.
Are you lefty, are you?
Yeah, box to well.
The left foot, the lefties they're always the best ones, aren't they?
A box-to-box fullback, that's what.
Is that what you were?
Out of curiosity, what do you think's the hardest position to play on the pitch?
That's a good question.
It's got to be a striker. You're judged every week on scoring. If you don't score and you have a good game, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So for me,
I think centre back, but I know nothing about football.
Yeah.
What position do you? I think Luke's played every single position under the sun.
I started left back, then I went right back, then I went centre mid. I played up front for a little bit. And
you did play up front for a little bit, yeah.
And then now I play at the back.
One of my fondest memories of watching him play football was when he put a cross in and it went in. And he tried to claim that he did it on purpose.
Accidentally on purpose.
And me and his dad were like, "You're not having that, you know." It was the worst cross you've ever seen. And it flew in top corner. And he ran off. The smug attitude that he did was, he was running down the sideline, pretending he did it on purpose. But we knew different. Would you like to admit that now on live?
Well, I'm not going to admit anything. Anybody who scores a good goal knows that they did it on purpose.
That's right, okay, fair enough. So, obviously, you're in Belfast. You finished your football career.
Yes.
Did you just start off doing a bit of coaching, or how?
Yeah. Well, I coached a semi-pro team because I wanted to stay in the game.
Yeah.
And for one reason or another, which happens in football, myself and the manager resigned. I didn't feel that the committee were ambitious enough for the time we were putting in. So I wasn't coaching for about 6 months, and then a friend of mine who's actually deaf got a job in the Football Association of Ireland in Dublin, and asked me did I want to coach these deaf guys. I hadn't got a clue what to do. I've never been as nervous taking a coaching session. But within 5 minutes, I said, they're normal guys, they're good footballers, they just can't hear. And from that, that was a team called Belfast Deaf United. The manager then got the manager's job at Ireland Deaf. So I went down there as head coach, and we went to the Deaf Olympics in 2013.
It's amazing, and I think what's always fascinated me in our meetings is how popular it is. In the disability sector.
I didn't realise it until I actually did it, and a lot of people perception is exactly the same.
Exactly, I think people listening at home will go, "Wow, like that! I didn't realise that a full time team, or that a team. They didn't realise it was the Olympics or anything like that." You know,
incredible. And I've been around half of Europe on the back of that. And different tournaments and different teams and so forth.
Where was the Olympics?
It was in Bulgaria, in Sofia, playing in 40 degrees heat. We finished the 6th best team in the world, which was an achievement for a little country like Ireland. But we look at the Russians, whose deaf team had been Bulgaria 6 months earlier to acclimatise. They were on €100,000.
Were they tested for steroids? Were them Russians tested for steroids?
Funny you say that. It's since been they were.
You're joking.
And the gold medal was taken off them.
As a lot of people know, listen, I've spent a lot of time in Russia coaching, and every time I hear that, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, man."
Yeah.
I always back the Russians. I've got a lot of friends still over there, but they do their best to shoot themselves in the foot at every opportunity.
Shame, but that's sport.
You're right. It is
the dark side of sport.
It is,
But that was my first entry into disability football, and something I haven't looked back. Because the guys got so much from it, whereas in mainstream, a lot of guys take things for granted.
Oh, yeah.
The attention span of these players was incredible. They were hanging on every word. They reacted to every coaching point. I just got so much out of it and said, I want a bit more. And then, fortunately, in July 2011, the job came up, and was fortunate to get it. I haven't looked back. But
the job came up in Newcastle.
It came up in Newcastle.
So obviously you relocated. Were you already in the area first?
I was already in the area. My wife Sarah was my partner back in. I came over in 2007. And I actually joined the foundation as a sessional coach at weekends.
Oh, really?
So I was working in Belfast during the week, and then coming back. This was my home then.
Yes.
When I look back, it was tough, but without that little entry into the foundation, where I got my name about and they got to know me, even with a strange accent.
I
and
think
the
it's
rest
got
is
the
history.
appeal though, you know, because I think, you know, like, and obviously,
Well, that was my wife's.
yeah, well, exactly. Yeah,
Looks
yeah.
aren't everything, as you can see,
No.
but however.
You're a good looking guy, Reggie.
I'll give you that money later. Steve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks very much. Checks in the post. You know what it is though? It's fascinating though, 'cause I think the kids really do respond to like a unique accent and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, when I went down to Huddersfield, I remember like all the kids were like, these people come up and asking us to say words.
Yeah.
And they're like, say Lucasade. I was like, Lucasade.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, if I was in the school, I was like, I'd have to play the Geordie accent. I was like,
Yeah.
how are you, man? Let us come in your school. And then, I love your accent. And then Geordie Shaw came along and ruined it for everyone.
Yeah.
They didn't ask you to pronounce anybody's name, did they?
No, they did
Well,
not.
I have to say, my first session, obviously my name was Reggie, and I introduced myself to the kids.
Yeah.
I said, Reggie? Who's this Reggie?
It was this Reggie guy. Yeah.
I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
now, so
Yeah.
accents are
No,
everything.
it's class, like. So, no, it is. It's absolutely fascinating stuff. I think that what always impresses me with like people in sport, like you kind of alluded to before, it's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Especially for coaches, because I mean,
Yeah.
being an ex-player myself, never at the level that you did, but to then, what was the point where you realised, you know, that moment where you thought, actually, I wouldn't mind coaching? Did you know as a player?
I
or
knew
did
as
you
a, I
generally-
knew as a player once because I wanted that changing room environment
Yeah.
with the lads,
Yeah.
and I obviously played for the lads, and then I sort of crossed the line and
Yeah.
sort of coached, but I was still their friend. The manager was the bad guy,
Yeah.
but I just needed that fix.
Also, you kind of took the assistant manager role in terms of like, so
Yeah.
you were able to play that
Yeah.
kind of hand, put your arm around them when
Yeah.
you needed it. I'm still your pal kind of thing.
And to be fair to the manager, he gave me that license to coach,
Yeah.
which was immense, and I'm still very grateful to him for that.
Yeah.
And I went on to do my license back in
Yeah.
Belfast.
It's
But I tell coaches that today, you don't know where the journey's going in terms
No.
of coaching. Well, it's another sport even as well.
Yeah.
But don't say close anything out.
no, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
exactly. It's never say never, isn't it? It's one of
Yeah.
them things, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and there'll be a lot of kids listening there today and stuff, and they're thinking I could probably never get into coaching, you know. Like for me, I actually knew when I was about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
I knew when I was like 12 or 13. I always knew my limit. I was a very self-aware player.
Yeah.
And which basically means I knew I was rubbish. And I knew I was rubbish. I knew I was rubbish. I knew I
Also
was
knew you had no academic skills.
Exactly, yeah. I had nothing to fall back on. We'll speak a little bit about education later on, but I had nothing to fall back on. Coaching had to work for me. It was either that or waiting tables, do you know what I mean? So I wasn't very, I kept spilling drinks, so
So you tried that a little bit as well.
I tried that a little bit. You've got to dabble in everything before you realise what you're good at. But
Absolutely.
yeah, for me, actually, I certainly knew. It's interesting that you knew as well. Were you captain of the club? Were you
No,
captain of the age groups?
I was probably the senior semi-pro at that stage.
Yeah.
I think I had a lot of respect because I'd been at the same club for
Yeah,
a long
yeah.
time. But I always knew I wanted to get into coaching as quick
Yeah,
as I could. And while my face was still in the club
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. But
So-
definitely got to take that moment,
Yeah.
isn't it? So,
Absolutely.
lovely, right? Okay, well, what a lovely opening bit. I think Luke is actually on the hot desk today.
Right.
So even though he's been away for a week, we said, you know, rust is not a thing.
No.
If
Don't believe
Mayweather
in
can
ring
get
rust.
through this ring rust, you can get through your mic rust.
Yeah.
So are you going to set up a couple of songs?
Yes,
so we can-
there's going to be a DJ advert, and then we're going to play 2 songs, Dua Lipa and Taylor Swift.
Lovely.
So you're listening to Sideline on Coast Radio.
Welcome back. You're listening to Sideline on Coast Radio. And today we are joined by Newcastle United Foundation's very own Reggie Dornan.
Yes, thank you very much, Reggie, for joining with.
You're very
I
welcome.
hope you enjoyed that little musical interlude.
That's a big word
It
for
was
you.
different, Luke.
Yeah. I
Not
would
my
have-
specific song choices, but
I would have preferred a bit of Bruce Springsteen myself.
Me
you
too,
know.
I would agree with
I
that.
might have a
Steve.
little surprise later.
Hey.
Oh, right, okay.
Country song, but I won't tell you because Steve, you'll definitely not know it.
No, I wouldn't know it. I know nothing about music, honestly, mate. Like, on a radio show, literally.
We'll get back to the store anyway, Reggie.
Yeah, let's go.
So just off the back of what was obviously we learned a little bit about yourself.
Mhm.
What groups do you work with at the moment within the foundation?
Yeah, well, we're very proud of the fact, and I know I keep using that word, but we are, because we cover all the different impairment groups that you can imagine within disability, and that covers the sort of following sort of groups, which is deaf, amputee, visually impaired and blind, kids in frames, which is a really popular program on a Saturday morning, power chair football. We've got a big Down syndrome group
Right.
Tuesday evening. A lot of learning disabilities, and then finally a cerebral palsy club. So we're covering right across the board.
There's not a group that you don't cover, really, is there?
Yeah.
That's amazing, that though, isn't it? Like, you know, like to have that such level of detail, because I know that when we've worked in SEN schools, special education and needs schools in the past, we've seen the out of hours groups for them, and it's just one session.
Yeah.
So it doesn't depend on what kind of disability you've got. This is your one session a week that you can go to, and it's a shame. I know a lot of people are.
Well, we're very fortunate because we have very good funding, primarily from the Premier League and BT Sport through their disability fund. Right. We've got funding through the FA with their disability workforce fund, and then we've got other funders like the Postcode Lottery, Northumberland Police Charity Fund give us a great deal of money.
Wow.
Children's Foundation, so that enables us to do where we do cover 43 SEN schools, and we go in and deliver a 6-week session, and that was in the past was a high and buy situation, but that funding now enables us to do weekly clubs for kids and for adults that run all year round.
Wow. And it's all times, isn't it? It's not specific.
All times. It's from Monday morning through to Saturday morning and everything else in between at various venues.
Do you know what's really refreshing, right? The fact that you just listed there, like at least 10 different organisations, they obviously are really passionate about this sector.
Yeah.
You know, and there's loads of stuff that goes on in mainstream, and I feel like at times the disability side does get left out a little bit.
Yeah, there's
but
no doubt
it's
about
really refreshing in such a strange world that we live in right now, that you've got these organisations that are saying, no, I'm passionate about that, and I'm committed to that. So I'm going to put a financial commitment to that.
Yeah.
And
but not only that, I mean, the club obviously does have its critics for various reasons on the playing side, but the club give our foundation a heck of a lot.
So you get a lot of support from Newcastle United?
We use St James's Park. We've got offices there. They look after our IT. They cover all our overheads. We have player visits. So that's everything for the kids and the adults that we're working with within, because we're a one club city, and that's important. But equally, organisations like the Premier League, who again have their critics, I mean, we get £100,000 from the Premier League and BT.
£100,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that doesn't cover everything we do, but that's a substantial amount of money, and we have that for the next 3 years.
I don't think people realise how much work goes on in the disability sector.
Yeah, no. Everything we deliver is free of charge, which again we're proud of, and it's been a policy through the foundation. But it started off with myself. I also have two full-time colleagues now, Mark Dalglish and Michael Woods. Yeah,
two great guys as well.
Two really great experienced guys. Michael particularly in the school delivery, and Mark doubles up as a Northumberland FA disability officer. So we've got the ground covered. But on top of that, we have a great team of community coaches. So it's not just myself and the other two lads, Mark and Mike. We have up to 20 coaches, and they love the disability. It's not they have a passion for it, and it's what they deliver week in and week out. That's why kids and adults come back every week.
The other thing is, I don't think people understand how specialised it is to be able to coach them groups of people. You have to have such a patient. Well, you don't. It does. I'm not going to say that it's irrelevant about your footballing or coaching ability, but it's so much more interpersonal skills and a broader personality skill.
Absolutely. And you have to have that passion. Yeah. You really do. It's not just I'll turn up and deliver this 1 hour session. Yeah. Because the programme's bigger than that. Because yes, these kids are adults with disability. They want to play the game, and we have a number of teams who play at weekends. And that's important, that they just aren't turning up for a Tuesday night session. They're playing down in Middlesbrough next Sunday, or for instance, we had our Down syndrome team over in Spain in July, playing in the Costa Blanca Cup. What an experience! But that's down to organisers and our name out there that cover costs and so forth. But what an experience! Both for us as coaches, but for the kids and the families.
So you said before that it's all funded, so the sessions are free.
All sessions we deliver.
So for the schools, if teachers listening here, if a person's involved in a SEN school now, they could get in touch with the Newcastle United Foundation. Obviously, we're going to put the links all on our Coach Facebook page. We're going to tweet about. We are going to try and tell everybody we can, because this is such an amazing thing for people to get involved with. But in terms of the groups themselves, so the out of hours, so the after school clubs, the sessions that you run on a weekday, on a weekend, they're free as well?
They're all free. There's 26 weekly clubs that run for 36 weeks, excluding school and college holidays. And those programs are now online. We've just had the flyer or the literature updated. So if you go on the Foundation's website, you'll see all the details, where they are, when they are, how long they happen for.
And if you sat by a computer right now, I mean, I followed the Newcastle United Foundation page literally last week, and it was so easy. If you're on Facebook at all you have to do is type in Newcastle United Foundation, and you'll see it come up straight away. And then obviously all you got to do is like that. And people can find out all about these courses.
And we're still looking. We work with I think it was something like 2,300 kids and adults throughout the program last year.
That's a huge level of
engagement. We still have the capacity to bring more. Not so much to learn more projects, because I think we're at the sort of height of the funding, but within, so if there's kids with a hearing impairment or a vision impairment or got cerebral palsy, please come along. We'd love to have you come along.
Yes, that's
and that's part of my job, is turning into a bit of a salesman.
Yeah.
But I love doing it, because I have that passion.
You come across like you really love your job. You love what you do.
I've got the best job in the foundation. I keep telling the staff that. I never have a bad day. Just go and do a session. You'll never have it.
It's almost a requirement as well, isn't it? When you're so passionate, you want to try and catch every person, a young person with a disability or impairment that you can.
Absolutely.
Sales, it's not so much, I wouldn't say it as a salesman, but I say it on the base level it is that, but you just want to like catch everyone in there and give them what you've got to offer.
Please come along.
Such a great service.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, what a lovely way to wrap that little section anyway. I think that it's about time we hear some more amazing tunes. Now, do you have a surprise for amazing tunes? I'm down with the kids. I am hip to the hop.
I'll put a surprise song on. It'll be Pink, Just Like a Pill, and then we'll have a little surprise song on after that.
Is it a surprise for you, or is it a surprise for us? Because is it a surprise where, like, if it was me on the other side of this desk, I'm surprised at whatever song comes on. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So, you would be thinking, Steve, what is this, and how do I turn it off?
Right.
But you think that about more songs.
I do.
Carry on, Luke.
Yeah. This is the Sideline on Coast Radio. You're listening to Luke and Steve with Reggie. Well, that was Garth Brooks, that Steve knew nothing about, and Pink, just before we come back.
Did your last make you play that song? Is that from Nashville?
It's not from Nashville.
I'm sure it's from Nashville.
No idea that I was going to play that. It was a total surprise.
That was a surprise to you, or a surprise to me?
Both.
Both probably, wasn't it, really, let's be honest. Just a quick update on the Newcastle match. If you are not watching it on Sky, it's 0-0 at the moment, but I think it's safe to say me and you are watching the highlights, Reggie.
Quite impressed.
We're all over them, aren't we?
Yeah.
There's Hozzaloo just had his chance as well.
I've never heard of him before, but the striker for the Toon has. Yes, he has, mate. Yes, he has. But there was a penalty appeal.
Another save
got denied.
Fabianski.
Fabianski's having a worldie apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, still 0-0. But it looks good for Newcastle. But now that we
2.
said that, Tammy Abraham's going to run down the wing and bury them and. It all happens in football all the time, doesn't it? It's all a great spell of possession. Just when you forget, we've got them on the ropes. Up.
Fingers crossed.
Positive sign.
Exactly.
Positive sign. Anyway, sorry. So we mentioned before in the previous bit about you engaging over 2,000 people and stuff. It strikes me there must be some form of success story. Obviously, I know every day is a success story. There must be something. Has anybody kind of with the sport? Or?
The amount of case studies, as we call them, which we do feed back to the Premier League and other funders. I could write a book on the note, but one that really sticks out is a lad who I'll name. It's a lad called Jimmy Foster. I know his mum Susan and Paul well. And Jimmy was featured on our foundation dinner last year. But Jimmy was typical as the project has matured over the 7 years, especially working with kids. Jimmy came to us as a 11-year-old with a severe vision impairment. Never took part in any sport, and he was actually classed as obese. And his mum quite openly told us about that. Jimmy came into vision impaired, didn't like it the first week, actually came back the second week, and then just suddenly got hooked. Jimmy then progressed. He went into an FA Player Development Centre, which we operated, in the Regional Talent Centre for the FA. Jimmy's now on an FA Emerging Talent Programme. He's training down St George's Park, and a few months ago he trained with the England Development Squad. So Jimmy is going to play for England, and that's how much the project has matured. We have loads of others. We have a deaf lad who travelled up from Leeds every week to be at a session. He's in the same programme, and it goes on.
amazing.
And that's why we can say to kids and some young adults that we do have a talent pathway.
Yeah.
So if you're good enough,
Yeah.
We can certainly point in the right direction.
It's quite important, actually.
Yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely. It's a bit like the team thing. You train. Yeah, you want to play for a team. Do you want to play for your country?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? And it doesn't matter what disability it is. There's a lot of disability teams.
That's the big thing that I'm getting across in this conversation. It doesn't matter if you're disabled or not. You can still play sport.
Absolutely.
And testament to this young man, at a good level as well. It doesn't have to be the end of the
Absolutely.
road at all, does it?
As I said earlier, my involvement in deaf football, it took me all over Europe. It took me to the Deaf Olympics.
Yeah.
Something I would never have done in mainstream football.
I've got a nice but funny story about when I was coaching a bunch of children in wheelchairs once, right? Okay, now this is, I can imagine people at home who know me go, oh, Ted's going, what's he going to say? Luke's terrified, but it's not, it's nice, right? So I was coaching wheelchair rugby at Percy Headley in Kilmarth. You know it well, don't you? Yeah. And at the end, I've jumped in the chair, I've been giving them a go, and it was an amazing session. But at the end of the session, half of them stood up and walked out. I was like, I've cured them! I'm God! But I didn't actually realise at that time that able-bodied people were allowed to play sport as well.
That's news to me.
Is that news to
you? Yeah, because
you?
our parts are all the
really well.
kids
I was speaking about it at the end of the session because I did that. I was like, well, wow, what? I was like, obviously,
Wow.
I'm not God for people listening to home. I don't claim to be him.
All I do is believe it. Quite often.
All I do believe it, in certain aspects of my life.
Yeah.
But what they said at Percy Headley was they created this initiative where able-bodied people could come along and play because it was encouraging their friends who were disabled to get involved.
That's right. That's true.
And it was absolutely lovely, and I know that was quite controversial.
But it's something like Sport England have taken on board now, and they want able-bodied and disabled kids and adults to mix. And it can, something in like a wheelchair sport, that can be done.
Yeah, definitely,
I must give a better understanding for able-bodied people to understand actually like how difficult the given sport is or can be. And
this isn't about me. This is all about you today. But I'll quickly say.
Go ahead.
When I was first, Luke's used to be doing this. It's fine. One of the first things I realised when I was actually coaching my first session was all the children in the wheelchairs. They were struggling because they were looking at us all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's really important. It's like when you coach a primary school child. You don't stand, and a poor coach will stand there and tower over them the whole lesson.
Get down to
a good coach, will get down and go to their level. So I jumped in the wheelchair. I'd never been in a wheelchair in that environment before, anything like that, you know, and I really struggled with the coordination side of it. But I just thought it was really important. I'm sure you find this yourself. To be at their eye level.
Yeah, and we're starting to connect with kids through iPads because a lot of the coaching software is now available on iPad, and it can actually move, so you can animate a session. Yeah, and kids link into that right away.
Yes, of course.
You can stand on a whiteboard and write all this down. Show them an iPad or a tablet, bang, they've got it. And that helps in terms of the communication, especially again on the deaf side.
And I mean, we're just saying in the break there a little bit, it leads into it, it's just like about the qualifications required and what sort of things are on offer to you at the moment.
Yes, the coach education is an important thing. And, you know, we have a lot of staff who work on the disability project, but they're all trained. They have an FA Level 2 mainstream award to start with. But then they've got Coaching Disabled Footballers Award, Level 1, Level 2. They've done Coaching Deaf Football Award, Coaching Blind Footballers Award. There's still a lot of areas we don't cover in terms of training, but that's something that the foundation have planned for in the next coming years.
Do you see it as part of the role to take on and submerge yourself in other education of how to interact and engage?
My role is going to change further down the line because, you know, I know I'm getting on a bit, but not too bad. But with that experience, you just can't buy it. And we cover all those impairment groups, so we've got to pass that back. But one thing we have done has been very successful is bringing assistant coaches in, such as we've got a lad called Paul Matheson who's blind, and he's the first blind assistant coach in the country.
Amazing! That's absolutely fantastic.
You know, as I said, is limited. But those kids with a vision impairment look at Paul as a role model, and it's important we buy into that.
Breaking ground there, really.
Absolutely. And that's how I see the project evolving, and we'll bring in mainstream clubs who will have kids, I'm sure, with some sort of disability as well. And that's the kids we're trying to aim at. We know where all the kids are within the special education needs schools. It's getting those kids who have a disability who are in mainstream education.
And I think it's reassuring to the parents to know as well, going about the qualifications, that everybody coming into a Newcastle United Foundation session, they're fully qualified.
Must have a DBS,
must have your
safeguarding, first aid,
everything.
or you don't come into the building. Simple as.
And that's definitely the best way to go.
Unfortunately, the past sort of year or so with all the stuff that hit the media, that is really important. And especially we are working with vulnerable kids and adults.
Now, I actually would say this, and I don't want to be negative at all, but if you are a kind of a parent involved in any sport, make sure that your coaches have got all this information.
Absolutely.
We see it all the time in schools where people can rock up and they think they've watched, because they've watched Alan Shearer for 10 hours in a match or something, they feel like they can coach, and it's not, it's about more than that. And what you guys are specialist coaches.
Exactly.
It's
what's behind us.
Exactly.
It's the organisation as much as the coach himself.
Yeah. Like you said, you cannot teach or by experience, and that's so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is, 100%.
But these talent pathways, that has raised the profile of the whole project as well.
Yes.
And even if I can lead on and give a little tip, recently we've announced Dwight Gale. And thank goodness he stayed at the club through the transfer window.
How scared were you when Fulham put that bid in on Sky Sports?
For 4 days I was sitting watching the television, waiting on 11 o'clock on the last day.
Did you not have Rafa on speed there? Did you not go with Rafa? How are you, man, Rafa?
I know. Well, Dwight's a nice guy.
Is he a nice guy?
But Dwight contacted me. He wanted to be involved in a disability project. That doesn't happen in Premier League footballers.
Yeah, that's
and he's now come to most sessions. He's agreed to be our ambassador for the Disability Football Project. And now I see his name coming up on my phone and I say, ooh, Dwight Gale. I still get that. But anything we've asked him to do, he's came along. For instance, he came along to our Parkshire club when the lads had won their league again for the second year. If I can put that little plug in. He jumped straight into a chair and got playing with the lads. There's a little video on our Twitter page. But Dwight, again, that will just lift the whole profile. And kids see him coming into a session, especially in a disability session. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
It's so important, I think, for people like Dwight Gale, and it's such a credit to himself.
Absolutely.
That players of that sort of credibility in the Premier League, in the game, that they do these things, and they show people, not like we'll have all the negative things on the pitch that people get, and it's so important. He's a good role model.
He's genuinely not chasing publicity. Because
he's doing this for the right reasons.
He's doing it for the right reasons.
I think, let's be honest, I think a lot of footballers do get a lot of stick out there. Because they are in the public eye so much. So I think it's refreshing to hear someone who's in such a public eye, such as Dwight Gale, very known person, to give up his time. He's not getting paid to be there. He's doing it off his own
time.
back.
He's a busy guy. I know they get a lot of stick, but he's got a young family as well. So credit to him. But again, things like that. Incredible.
It's nice to hear.
Long may that continue.
100%. Why don't we? Can I make a suggestion, Luke?
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm loving this conversation, and I think obviously I don't want to take up too much more of Reggie's very valuable time. How about we play one more song and then we come back for a final chat of the day?
Sounds like
is that okay with you?
Sounds good.
Can we play something from Nashville? No, I'm only kidding.
I was about to say, I've got them all lined up.
Yes, of course you do.
Right.
What song are we going to play, brother?
After this short advert will be Liam Payne, Strip That Down.
Hello, welcome back. You're listening to The Sideline on Coast Radio, and we are, of course, with the legend that is Reggie Dornan from the Newcastle United Foundation. Just a quick update on the Newcastle score. It is 0-0 at half time. Happy with the result so far, lads?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Take 0-0?
Yeah, I would have took that, definitely.
Yeah, well, hopefully, fingers crossed. Well, before we were chatting, we said, typical Newcastle, we're going to be all over them, that we're going to go and concede. They literally had a really good chance. Just after we said that, it popped up before, so I wasn't...
Love it if we're going to nick a win,
though. I think it's going to be 1-0 either way. I'm confident in the lads. I think it's going to be 1-0 the tune. Luke probably thinks we're going to get 4-0. He's a bit like that.
Well, I just think, obviously, this Paul Clement has went under the radar, and he's probably got some great team talk set up. He'll resonate with the lads at half time, and then they'll come out.
You're not one of these that believes in the Vince Lombardi effect or anything, is he? Like, for those who don't know, Vince Lombardi's an amazing coach and quite a hero of mine.
You're a Vince Lombardi.
But people don't know that. I think all these people. I was watching a coach on the weekend, actually. Now I'm not mentioning his name. I'm not a massive fan of him either. And he was in a junior match,
right?
And you would have thought he was coaching in
World
Super
Cup
League.
final.
Oh my God! He come on every blade of grass. He was shouting about 100 instructions at the kids, and I'm just stood there with the parents. And I'm not gonna lie, we were all laughing at him.
Cringing.
We're just like
Yeah.
that. In
The coach inside you should have wanted to teach him. Should have wanted.
no,
to
it's from a
put
different
it
club,
all
and
on.
that was it. Well, I can't mention too much because people will suss out who it is straight away. But like he's had his opportunities at a certain club that I was involved with, that I'm involved with, and he's moved on to a different area. But I always found that amazing when coaches are like they get so into it.
Yeah.
Then
It's
like,
all about them.
yeah, that's
Not
exactly
about the
exactly
kids.
what it is. It's not
Yeah.
about the kids, it's about
Yeah.
the coach, isn't
Yeah.
it? So lovely.
Never
Well,
mind.
Sadly, we've only got about 10 minutes left here,
Wow,
which
can't believe
I think
where the time has gone. Steve.
it's flew. Have you enjoyed it?
I really enjoyed it. I love talking about the foundation, so
Yeah.
I could sit here for hours.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I think people at home would probably prefer that.
I don't know about
Because
that.
the feedback we've been getting all day it's absolutely brilliant. But obviously, the people at home that are listening, there's been such positive feedback, and I don't think it's because Luke's back. I don't think.
No.
And
I
the
don't
accent
think-
hasn't been too bad.
But I was going to say, I tell you what, maybe the songs have been so credit to you as well, sir.
Oh, brilliant.
When I was on the show last week, a random Dolly Parton song just
no.
started playing out of the blue for no reason whatsoever, wasn't it? He was listening in Devon, Kent.
Yeah.
Close enough. It wasn't Newcastle, was it? And yeah, so that was it. So anyway, but yeah, so
Good stuff.
finally, we're in the Northumberland area, and obviously
Yeah,
predominantly
yeah.
listeners are in the Northumberland area. So we're going to be putting everything on the Facebook page, on
Yes.
the Coast Radio Facebook page, and on
Yeah.
our Twitter. But what projects have you got kind of in this area?
Well, we've had a 6-week summer break. Obviously, the schools are back now. So next week we restart everything. So that includes our SEN schools delivery. So we're starting off in the Gateshead area.
Yeah.
So I think we've got 10 schools booked in for next week, and then all our after school clubs and weekend adult clubs, etc., etc. So we have a total of 26 of those starting at 10 o'clock, I think, tomorrow morning.
Wow.
Going right through to Saturday morning. So I think we're delivering 36 separate disability sessions. So
So tad busy then.
a little busy, yeah. But great that it's back and running
Yeah,
again,
of
and,
course,
and
yeah.
the opportunity to plug it. I mean, again, if you go onto the website, particularly with disability, if you have a child or an adult that you know of, make them aware of it. And if they want to just turn up and have a look or turn up and play, a bit like Jimmy Foster, where he turned up for the first session, didn't much like it, came back second week, joined in for 10 minutes, and then got hooked.
Now he's playing for England.
And now he's playing for England.
Incredible story.
But
isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing.
part of our success is, in particular the kids, that we have a great parent groups. So the parents come along and they're welcomed with open arms. They have kids with the same disabilities.
Is it
So
important for parents to be
I
really
think
supportive?
it is, and a lot of my role is that relationship with the parents, because what we say we'll do, we do, rather than say, oh, we think we're going to do this. And without their backing and support, it just doesn't happen. So we're very fortunate we've got a great parent group. So if you've got a child who has a disability and one of those sessions suit you, please come along.
Just give it a go, isn't it?
Yeah,
just give it a go.
Yeah,
It's completely free.
Yeah,
It's a taster session.
yeah.
And in the story of Jimmy, not
Yeah.
just give it a go once, just maybe give it a go a couple of times.
Yeah,
Don't
no, I
keep
agree,
going at
yeah,
the first time, put you off, like
Yeah.
give it a good fair
Yeah.
back of the whip.
I'm assuming you don't mind anybody not turning up every week. It's when they're available.
Exactly, and the problem with particularly a child with a disability that they do get sick or they have issues with a
Things
disability,
happen, don't they?
and
Life
things
happens,
happen.
doesn't it? Yeah.
They're going to school, they may tire very easily, which can happen. So you may not turn up every week. That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Come and try it. Lovely to have along.
Absolutely amazing. Well, what we're going to do is do the 15-minute takeover, which is going to be starting real soon. We're going to literally put the links on the Facebook page.
Thank you.
We're going to put it on with Twitter. Please, 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 if you're at home, if you sat there and you just want to give it a go, just give it a go. Like Luke says, like Reggie says, give it a few weeks.
My details are on the leaflet.
We'll
Give me a call.
Yeah.
I'll answer you. No
And
problem.
I'll speak out. Reggie is an extremely nice guy. First time
He
I've
is.
met him today.
Yes.
Very pleasant to
I've
be
had the
with.
pleasure of being in the company a few times now,
Yes,
and
really well, Steve.
he was showing me off at the St James's Park for the. It was a bit better than our office in Cranley, just a tad.
Yeah.
I noticed that you did that while I was on holiday.
Yes, we did. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a strategic one.
And the
it
back
was-
garden was looking quite well.
The
with
back
pitch.
garden, the pitch. I got there and like I was, I've just got this, and I'm thinking, all right, we'll go into a shed or something, you know. And no,
That's how fortunate I am. I go
Oh,
into St
you get to
James's
look at
Park
that every day.
I never tire of it.
I bet.
And I've said the day I do, I don't want to
And
do this job.
Do you have your own car parking space there?
Not quite. But,
That's a good question. Yeah. I was thinking that.
I'm not high up in management.
I was struggling
just
for a
yet.
space in town the other day. I almost give you a ring. I was like, I've got a meeting in town, but
No.
and I tell you this now, I can vouch, and it's not against the healthy eating malak, but them cookies were absolutely amazing.
No, they were
cookies were good.
yes. We're
So,
spoiled.
You are spoiled.
The club do look
You
after
know
us
this from
well.
the sounds of things, you thoroughly deserve it. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I think you're right. The message is the disabled. If you're a disabled man, woman, child,
Please come along.
you've
We have
got
something for
you've
everybody.
got something at the Newcastle United Foundation.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for
Thank
the plug.
you so much.
Well,
Really
thank you
enjoyed
much
today.
Thank you very much for coming,
Are
Reggie.
you going to invite?
Welcome.
Are you going to start off for the 15-minute takeover?
Yes, it's going to be followed by the news. So the news will come on, and then the 15-minute takeover will commence.
Lovely, mate.
So you're listening to Luke and Steve on the sideline with our guest today, Reggie Dornan, on 106.6 FM.